So when I tell people that I got my Crohn symptoms under control, when I started getting my indigestible anger under control, they start to ask the question, how do I get rid of my anger? And they kind of don't go about this correctly because they don't understand what emotions are, how they work, where they're stored in your brain, and how to get rid of them. So just realizing that anger is causing your symptoms. Like, anger will kill you. Anger will make you poop yourself to death. Someone really realizing this and understand this, they can cut their anger in half and cut their symptoms in half. So something happens to them. There's a stimulus in their environment. We're bombarded by stimuli. You're flipping through Facebook. I mean, every single post you roll by has hundreds, if not thousands, of stimulus, coming in through your eyes and coming in through your ears. And each one that comes through us, there's like this part of our brain that everything is like coming through this filter. It's this filter composed of our past experiences. Will this thing kill me? Will that thing kill? Like 1,000 things come at you, and it goes through this filter. Will it kill me? Based on my past experiences. And when the answer is yes to one of those things, and you feel like you can conquer this thing, and this thing could just remind you of a conflict. It doesn't have to be a conflict itself. It's like, oh, I ate an apple when my teacher yelled at me. Well, now every time you see an apple, like you're on guard, or someone tries to give you something, you're on guard. Or like what reminds you of the situation? You gave an apple to somebody, and then they rejected it, and they started yelling at you. Now anytime someone yells at you, now every time you try to give a gift and they're not receptive to it, every time you open up the door and the person doesn't thank you, you like flip out and you're angry. How did that pattern get stuck in you? Because let's say we hold the door open, the person doesn't say thank you, and we get angry. Now, one train of thought on how to reduce anger is to express that anger, to express it to its fullest. I don't, honestly, how is that possibly going to help? You're probably just going to get more angry because the person's going to give you crazy and punch you in the face, and then you're going to be really angry because you're being a psycho. We could suppress the anger, which is a little bit better. The anger erupts out of you. You cannot control that. But what you can control is, like, you grab it and you try to put the genie back in the bottle. You try to put the beast back in the cage. That's a somewhat of a good strategy. We're suppressing it, which, when I say that doesn't sound really good. So how do we get rid of that eruption from the source in the first place? We have to remove, not being thanked for a good deed, not being thanked for giving a gift. We have to remove that from our stimulus filter, our threat bank. How do we remove that from the threat bank? And, there's a lot of different therapies that, claim to do this, but how do we perceive that to not be dangerous anymore? Sometimes just, how did it get there in the first place? It got there during a conflict shock. So one thing someone can do is, live their life, write down all the times they get emotional, find the patterns. I seem to get really angry when I do a favor for someone. Oh, I made my husband a sandwich, and they didn't say thank you. What an asshole. I'm going to, take his toothbrush and put it in, flush it down the toilet and then put it back in the thing. Whoa, where did that come from? You continually ask your brain, why do I get angry? It's not going to come up right at first. It is a suppressed event. It's not stored in our memory bank. It's stored in this filter. So we have this little file clerk running around in our brain who obeys our every wish and command to the best of their ability. and they're trying to find this memory, but it's not really a memory. It's stuck in this filter that's filtering out things that are going to kill us, or at least going to hurt our survival in a big way. And we're going to have to ask this file clerk a few times. It depends. Sometimes, you ask him once and he goes, boop, here it is. Yeah, you remember the time in high school you gave your teacher an apple and they threw it in your face and they made you look like an idiot in front of the class. And you go, oh, okay. Some people call this a cognition, an aha moment. They go, oh, okay, now I can see why. Now I can see why I overreact to that. And sometimes just having that aha moment, that realization, that epiphany is enough to take that thing out of the filter and put it in the memory bank, and you don't get triggered anymore. Or maybe the trigger is cut in half. Now we still have some work to do. Keep asking yourself, why am I triggered by this? What was the bad thing that started? It's a command you have to issue to this file clerk, and you have to do it multiple times. It takes a while to dig up these old memories, to find what's in this crap filter. What other way how can you fix that unconscious eruption of anger? And the only way is to get to the source and come to peace with the source. Maybe sometimes just having the realization is enough. Sometimes you need to develop a new skill. I used to get super triggered by certain female behaviors, like when they just do something bitchy for seemingly no reason. But when I got educated on male and female dynamics, she's super upset, and I'm like, instead of going, wow, you're just crazy, I go, oh, okay, I can kind of see how I haven't been fulfilling my masculine purpose, and I understand why she's acting this way. Versus, you're crazy, get out of here. For me to do that, I had to get an education. For some people, they're not sensitive to those things for whatever reason. But the things that make you angry, most of you are just suppressing it. And, that can help you all so much. It could cut your symptoms in half by 50%. But I know some of you want to get better to the fullest extent. You have to do some journeying back in time. Sit down with a cup of coffee, get out a piece of paper, and write down, why do I get emotionally triggered? What was a traumatic event that happened in the past? And it will eventually bubble up to the surface. And, right now in my course, I'm developing a new and improved version of my course. I'm going to have, a specific set of questions to help you dig up these old past memories as fast as possible with the least amount of effort. So guys, that's all I have for this video. To get your anger under control, you can express it, which is just going to make it worse. You can suppress it, which can help, but you have to get to the source. You have to find that original DHS, that conflict, shock, traumatic event. And, some of you, it is an actual threat to you, but for a lot of you, it's the conflict's already been resolved. We just have to take it out of this danger filter that we have in front of us and put it in the memory banks, and see it as a learned experience. Like, oh, this was a bad experience, but I have learned from it and I'm ready to move on. It's not a threat anymore. The only reason we get angry at stuff is when we think it's a threat to our survival, and that is 90% of the time it's a matter of perspective. Most problems are actually business opportunities. So solving most problems, it's a time to shine and bring value to yourself and to, whatever group you belong to. So what I want you to do right now, if you're truly serious about getting better and, eating your favorite foods again, go from 20 times a day to 1 to 2 or 3 times a day, going to the bathroom, putting on 30, 40, 50 pounds of weight over the next few months and looking like a normal human being again and not looking like, Jack from the Nightmare Before Christmas, go watch my webinar. It is the 4-step Mike method. Go watch it. I just updated it recently and it will change your life. It has information in there that, if you buy like a $2,000 course from from my competitors, they don't even know what the root cause is. This is absolutely free, and it's better than spending thousands of dollars on someone else's advice, because it's the only place I'm the only one with information that gets to the root cause of the problem. True story. So go down, go do it now, go watch that webinar, and get your life back. You deserve it. Start the new year's off on the right foot. Go watch that webinar. Stop watching cat videos. Stop playing Minecraft or World of Warcraft. I'm addicted to those games too. Go watch it. Your health comes first. Talk to you guys later. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and I can make a video about it. Bye-bye.